Are New Year's resolutions a waste of time? Welcome to Strong for Life Live. This is Coach Josh Wood down here in Hobart, Tasmania at the new time of, Tuesday, 10 a.m. This will be the last podcast for the year. We'll start again on January 2nd. So we'll have a couple weeks off for holidays. Got a lot of family stuff going on, and I'll be a little bit on the road. So it'll be kind of hard to get this thing going when I'm not at home. As always, please take a minute to like, rate, review, ask questions on whatever platform you are listening to this on. If you're listening to this live through YouTube or the Become Strong for Life Facebook group, please consider following along on one of the podcast platforms as well. And you can catch all the old episodes there too. So Amazon, Spotify, Apple, they all got it going on. Now, announcements. Not much. It's holiday season. So, Merry Christmas. Have a good Yule. And enjoy your New Year if I don't see you before then. But let's have a little talk about one of the biggest conversations that happen around this time of year. No, it's not the discussion of whether cranberries should be cooked fresh or come from a can. I'm not up for that one. That is a friendship ender. But let's talk about resolutions and whether or not they're worth your time, or are you wasting your time? Now, fun little fact is a lot of resolutions do not succeed. A lot of people give up on their resolutions before the end of January. And there's a few reasons for this. Now, obviously, there is the pressure that's put on people to make sure they have a resolution for New Year. And most of the time, that is something, well, that's a wish. Most people try and use a wish as a resolution as opposed to something they really want. And so a wish, when I say wish, it's the same kind of wish that people say when they see someone taking a holiday somewhere tropical. And they post about it on Facebook and everyone goes, oh, you're so lucky. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. Oh my God, you lost 5 kilos. Oh, I wish I could do that too. These are things people say because it would be like winning the lottery. Nice if it just happened. If it just magically happened, people would be really happy. But when people say these things, they're usually the people who aren't playing the lottery, so they can't win it. And so a lot of these resolutions are in that same bucket. They are said by people who are not in it to win it. So what do we do about that? Well, first of all, coming up with ideas and telling yourself and others that you're going to do this thing and then regularly not doing it sets you up for failure in the long run. You are training yourself to not take what you say seriously. You are saying, this is a thing I said I'm going to do it, but I don't really care, so I'm not going to do it. And you're setting yourself up for failure in the long run. So we need to make sure that things we say, especially to ourselves, have value and that those things are things that we want to be true. So if we look at a resolution, first of all, you need to make sure that it is something that you truly want and are willing to do the work for. Resolutions are not magic wishes. These are things that you are going to make happen. You are resolving to make them happen. And if you come into it with that mindset, you're going to have a better time of making it happen. So if you want to win the lottery, you need to buy lottery tickets. If you want to be more successful in your business, you need to invest the time and effort to make that happen. If you want to lose 5 kilos in the first quarter of the year, which is totally manageable, you need to actually have a plan to do that. You can't just hope it happens starting Jan 1st. And most people go into it without a plan. And so one of the things that we really want to talk about is how to set up a goal for success. And every year I end up talking a bit about this. So these are our SMART goals, SMART. I think I spelled that right. SMART goals. And SMART goals are just ways of outlining things that we actually want to happen. So if we go ahead and look at our 5 kilo weight loss in the first quarter, totally manageable. 500 grams a week is usually what we'd call standard in the industry. You could do that. Just about anybody can accomplish that with a little bit of planning. But a specific goal, the S in SMART, is key. A lot of people come into it and say, I want to get fit. That's a waste of time because you're not saying anything. You're saying fluff. What is fit? Do you want to run a marathon? Do you want to deadlift 100 kilos? Do you want to run up a hill? Do you want to throw your kids overhead? Do you want to excel at the playground test and be able to use the equipment at the playground with your kids? Those are specific things. Fitness is not. It's general and not really measurable without some other external measuring point. So we need to have a specific goal. And so we're going to stick with this 5 kilo weight loss. I want to lose 5 kilos. Great. Okay. That's the S. The M is measurable. How do we measure that? Well, 5 kilos weight loss is very easy to measure. You weigh yourself, and if it's less than 5 kilos less than when you started, you win. You measured it. Okay, great. If you say, I want to get fit, how do you measure that? You can't. You have to apply it to something. So that means fitness needs to be specified. I want to run up that hill. I want to see weight loss. So we have to have something specific and we have to measure it. And then what? SMA. Is it achievable? Can it be done? If you were like, I want to lose 5 kilos in the first 2 weeks of the new year. Oh boy. It's specific. It's measurable. You can very much measure that. Is it achievable? Kinda. Like you could. But for most people, it's a bad idea. It's not very achievable. Not without great sacrifice. So if we say 5 kilos in the first quarter, that's specific. That's measurable. And it's achievable. Now, R, S-M-A-R, is it realistic? Yes, you could lose 5 kilos in 2 weeks. It's technically achievable. But is it realistic? Not really. Not if you have a full-time job or you got a family. It might not be realistic in that time frame. It might not be realistic in your life. 5 kilos over the first quarter. If you got good planning, it's measurable, it's specific, it's achievable, and it's pretty realistic. It can be done. It can be done by most people in most circumstances. And the T is time bound. You have to have a timeline. New Year's resolutions that go for the full year without micro checkpoints tend not to succeed. So we need to have either micro checkpoints for a bigger goal, or we need to have a more time-bound initial goal. 5 kilos, first quarter. It's 3 months. You have 3 months to lose 5 kilos. It is specific. It is very measurable. It's achievable. It's realistic. And it's time-bound. Without the time limit, things don't get done. That's the first step in making sure we achieve what we resolve to do in the new year. That's a good platform to start with. And I have an article I wrote about SMART goals. If you would like to read it, just shoot me a message and I'll send that to you. Just breaks it down a little bit in more detail. The other thing is, what's so important about Jan 1st? Now, I've been in the fitness industry quite a while now, something like 12 or 13 years. And you've got two sides. You got the average person who's like, Jan 1st, I'm going to start. Jan 1st, or I'm always going to start on a Monday. And then you've got the fitness influencers who are like, those dates or times are arbitrary. Why wait? And there's truth to both sides. Now, obviously, if it's really important, why wait? But is it realistic for you to start something big, a big lifestyle change, or change how you're going to eat and interact with the world around you in the week before Christmas? For most people, it's not realistic because we have social obligations. We've got family shit going on. We've got holiday parties and meals. And now might not be the right time to start. but it's definitely the right time to plan, to lay out your roadmap and the foundation of what you want to achieve starting Jan 1st. And luckily this year, Jan 1st is a Monday, so it's extra powerful. The other side of this is the power of ritual, the power of specific dates for starting things does matter. Mondays usually are easier and better if it actually happens, but usually waiting till Monday is an excuse that stops people from actually getting things done. I'll start again on Monday. Well, it's only Tuesday. You're going to wait another 6 days to start because you messed up yesterday? That's an excuse. But starting on Jan 1st and starting on Monday, the 1st of January, there's power to that. There is power in the ritual because a lot of people are going to be doing things. A lot of people are going to be starting new things, and having that as the starting point for your time management, for looking at measuring how long things are going to take and when to start, there is a lot of power to that. There's nothing wrong with a New Year's resolution, but you can't make it up Jan 1st with no plans and then expect it to happen. That's when we go back into wish category. Not a want, not a need, but a magical wish that we hope just kind of happens and someone hands it to us. And that's not going to fly. It's not going to get you what you want. And what I really want for you this year is to actually have a resolution that means something to you. And it doesn't have to be big. And this goes back to a podcast I did a couple months ago about other people's goals don't have to be yours. Other people don't have to validate your goal. If you're like, I just want to lose a kilo in this first quarter of the year. I need to start, and I just want it to be very achievable and very realistic. Beautiful. Don't let someone talk you up to 10 kilos. That might be achievable. It might not. We all have different life situations. But coming up with something that's very important to you. I want to climb the hill behind my house. I want to go to the park every week with my children and play for an hour. Oh, that's a good goal. That's a great goal. Once a week, 1 hour a week, that is achievable. And then you could do something like, well, I want to clock up at least 50 hours of playground time this year. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound. That's a fantastic goal. So it doesn't have to be weight loss. It doesn't have to be fitness focused. It could be lifestyle, but it has to have value, and you have to be able to smartify it. You have to be able to put it in that SMART framework for it to be a real goal and not just a wish. And that can be really hard for people. But luckily, you have 2 weeks to figure this out. 2 weeks to write it down, to think about what's important to you. You don't need a lot of goals. The less goals you have, the more achievable they will be. Start small. If you knock out that first goal in the first month, first quarter, you can create a new one. That's fine too. But utilize the social power that is Jan 1st and Mondays. Use the power of everybody trying to start something new on that day and actually do it. Don't wish. Make it happen. Set a goal. Make it a smart one. And as always, I'm here to help. So if you're not in the Become Strong for Life Facebook group, you should be. We're going to be looking at New Year's resolutions and goal tracking. But you can always reach out privately. You can find me on Coach Josh Wood on Instagram, Strong for Life Online Coaching on Instagram and Facebook. Hit me up. Myself or part of the team will be able to help you. If you need help figuring out how to make your wish a goal, well, that's something I'm very good at. So let's chat. And in the meantime, enjoy your holidays. Eat a lot of protein. Usually there's roast meats on Christmas. So remember, we talked about this last time. Make your first plate protein. Drink water with every meal before you start eating or drinking anything else. And you'll do just fine. See you in the new year.